Hey everybody, Tailgate Jake coming at you with another video. Today we are going to cover the different type of caps that GM offered. We are actually going to be taking this cap off this tailgate, moving it to another one. So we'll be able to show you how to disassemble this and then also reassemble it. GM offered 3 different caps. They had your standard, everyday, run-of-the-mill, just flat one, nothing fancy. Basically just covered the top of the tailgate. Some people would argue that it wasn't the best looking, however it served its purpose. The second type came out a little bit later in the years, and I want to say maybe 03, 04, and it was basically of a spoiler type as well. So it just stuck out from the tailgate a little bit, just gave it a different look. The problem with these is that, say you were to buy a tonneau cover, or really like one of the fiberglass hard covers, or even a truck bed cap, the glass would not shut with this one. And so a lot of times you would have to take them off. So the third cap that was offered was this kind, and it was the one that had the 4 squares going across the bottom here. So essentially you had your double-sided tape, and then you would have 4 bolt holes going all the way across. And this one was actually my personal favorite. Loved the way that it looked. They actually only offered this on the Silverados, and I know that if you throw it on a Sierra, it makes it look pretty good. Why they only offered it on Silverados, and only the 1500s as well, only the Silverado 1500s got these. Why they did that, I do not know. However, we're going to start with the disassembly of this. So once again, we should just have double-sided tape here on the bottom, running all along the way, and then we'll have the 4 bolts right here. So what you'll need for this job is what they call a Torx head, and it is a T30. And that is what's going to be the bolts here. They actually have threaded pop rivets on the other side. If you go to do these and they're kind of stiff, which I have seen them turn loose, go ahead and soak them with some PB Blaster, some liquid wrench, WD-40, something to just kind of break off that rust. Keep in mind, these bolts coming from the factory have probably been here since 03, 04. Just about every tailgate that I've seen, with the exception of one, has had holes in the top of the tailgate. So not all the tailgates received the pop rivets. However, you can add them, or you can do it the old-fashioned way of just sticking your hand down in through the tailgate handle hole and the side latch hole and put them in there manually. If you didn't have the pop rivet gun, essentially just coming from the back side, all you'd have to do is just throw a nut and a washer on the back and it would stick. So this one's starting to come a little loose here. You have this lip here at the bottom, runs all along the way, and they put double-sided tape on this side, so we might get lucky and be able to, run it right down. Okay, except we don't have to use the hammer. One thing to be careful about if you are using a metal scraper, make sure the corner doesn't actually pierce through the bottom here. And I think that's got it. Alright, so we have got the tape off the back and the 4 bolt holes at the front here, and this should slide right off. Just like that. There's that double-sided tape. Runs all along the back side here. And then of course your 4 bolt holes going all the way across. If you just try to go to put this new cap on, it will not fit because of these threaded pop rivets. It will actually stick up. Probably comes up maybe 2-3 mils, nothing big, but it's all the way down. But if you try to go to stick that cap on there, it won't be flush with the actual tailgate. So what you got to do is you actually got to drill those out. You want to get just a drill bit big enough to where it'll just take off the surface. Eventually it will drill it out, and then the bottom half will actually just drop into the tailgate, and then of course you can just reach in through the latch handle or your tailgate handle hole. Got our drill bit and drill, and we're just going to drill these out. This is a 25/64 drill. Get something close. And if you're good, that will come right off. And then should be able to just kind of press that down and it'll drop in there. The ultimate goal is not to hit the tailgate, because if you do hit the tailgate, you're going to expose bare metal. Alright, so I'm going to have to come back to this one. Unfortunately, this one broke loose on me. So right now, this one actually stuck in. Maybe I'm kind of glad this happened, just so you guys can see. These have fallen out, and you can see that it is somewhat of a hexagon hole. This one, lo and behold, it has stuck. So we're going to see if we can't maybe stick a wrench through the latch hole here. Get it on up underneath there, and use the drill again, and see if we can just get that top off. Voila. Again, doesn't have to necessarily be perfect. If you really wanted to go the extra mile, you could sit here and clay bar this. What we're going to do to stick this cap on, Gorilla Glue makes a very good glue, and it actually works with the moisture. It actually suggests that you do get it wet before you actually go sticking it to a surface. I personally love the stuff. It does take a little bit of time to dry. I think the dry time is 2 hours. So what I like to do is just the very top I like to get dry. However, the front and the back I actually like to leave just a little bit wet. Not soaking wet, but just moist is what it says. So we'll go ahead and get just the top dry here. What you'll need for this next part is actually some clamps. I personally like to use wood clamps, and then double-sided tape and some ratchet straps. The clamps are going to go around the tailgate and clamp it down to make sure that it squeezes to it, while the ratchet straps are going to make sure that it's actually pulled on there all the way. So we got our cap here. What we're going to do is put a bead of glue, that Gorilla Glue that works with the moisture, along the back and the front here. This is just standard everyday run-of-the-mill double-sided tape. So here's the stuff I'm talking about as far as you want it to actually be just a little bit wet. Really good stuff. This actually works better than super glue. And we'll go ahead and lay a bead. Doesn't take a whole lot, just enough. I usually just do kind of one line across, a very thin line. I'm actually just putting it on top of the old double-sided tape that used to be there. Now granted, if you had bought a new cap, you wouldn't have to do this, but I am using just an old used cap, so you had gone to the junkyard and got this one. So essentially, the double-sided tape should hold it to the tailgate while we're getting our ratchet straps and C-clamps set up. So we'll go ahead and get this set on here. So on either side of the tailgate, you'll have maybe about a 1/4 inch showing right there at the top. The cap does not cover it all. So what we're going to do next is get our ratchet straps on there and pull it down. What I like to do is put a piece of microfiber towel here, and then get my ratchet straps wrapped around the tailgate and then compress it down. After you compress it down, you'll want to put C-clamps all along it. That way we know that that glue is good and set. So nothing fancy. Like I said. So if there's one thing that I would like to point out, go ahead and have your ratchet straps kind of ready to go within the set distance that you want. That will definitely help you. Try to keep the microfiber towel definitely on the bottom and of the tailgate there. That way you're guaranteed not to scratch any of the paint. And then go ahead and ratchet strap it down. And you can see it closing on the top there. See where this is sticking up just a little bit? This is where I'd get those C-clamps and put those on this one, just to make sure that your edges are nice and flush. The only reason that little bit of a gap is there is because of the old double-sided tape. However, it looks flush all the way across there. This white strip, probably take maybe just a little bit of paint thinner or some Goo Gone there, and that'll probably take that off. Looks a little unprofessional, but it's definitely going to get the job done. Got some wood clamps, C-clamps, some ratchet straps with some microfiber towels, and we'll check back here in about 2 hours and see how this is looking. And I had the microfiber towels down just to make sure that nothing got scratched. Very flat all the way down. I don't really see any gaps. So all the way up to the top. And that's always going to have a little bit there just because of the thickness of the double-sided tape. Looks pretty good going down. So again, use this video if you wanted, say you had one of the spoilers that would not allow your camper top or tonneau cover to actually go all the way down.